Last night on the Golden Bachelorette.
Chuck was glued to her. He couldn't get enough. I mean, he didn't give anybody the chance to go and talk to her.
You guys are gonna brawl on the way home, are you?
Chuck. Give me some time, son.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
It's week 5 of the Golden Bachelorette, and we've arrived at the all-important week before hometowns, where this week the guys are left to sit around, watch their numbers dwindling, steam clean their clothes and their undies, and say,
well, here we all are, alone but together. No flowers for us.
Because this week, Joan has changed the rules. There are going to be no roses, or at least no roses on dates. Because apparently the show is turning into the Golden Purge, and for 1 week there are going to be no rules. But basically, Joan wants every ounce of time with these guys to make sure she's making the right decision. And for guys like Mark and Keith, this is their last chance at a one-on-one. I mean, it's pretty much now or never. So that first one-on-one date card comes out, and these guys start sweating.
Keith.
Yeah, baby.
I want a love that gets better with age.
Well, it's finally Keith's time, and these two are going to be taking a helicopter ride to a vineyard. And as they fly by over the mansion, one man is starting to get a little jealous.
I should have been on that helicopter.
You know, do I like that she's out on a romantic date? Absolutely not.
Oh, my freaking ears!
Oh, let's go, dear.
Well, I expect that type of language at
The Bachelor.
but not here.
Ah yes, we're getting to the point in the season where people are catching some real feels. At least if you're a frontrunner like Chalk. Other men like Mark, however, are really struggling. At this point, he's looking for a sign. Is he doing the right thing by being here? And then he sees this.
Denise, we had a hummingbird feeder, and she would sit like this with her hand open, like just holding her hand out for a hummingbird.
Now, Mark's daughter Kelsey would always say, as we saw on The Bachelor, that butterflies reminded her of her mom. And as we went through Joey's season, they would often appear as they filmed the show. For Mark, however, his sign for Denise is a hummingbird.
There's a hummingbird. I froze and I took that as because it's like she's there and she's saying this is right.
Well, now with this, Joan, Jesse Palmer, and the Bachelor crew finally turn to Mark and say,
It is time.
as the group date card then comes out, and guess whose name isn't on it.
Congratulations.
Oh, man, thank you.
Well deserved.
Feeling kind of relieved, like a lot relieved. Yeah.
And not a minute too soon, because Keith's date has gone pretty well, as he's stoked to invite Joan into his girl dad world should she pick him for a hometown, and pretty much with all the men, things are getting serious. Something we'll definitely see continue as we head into this Lucky Strike bowling date, the last group date of the season. Where here, some men look horrified seeing Chalk hog Joan all date.
Did I just take her home?
As we're bowling, it is clear that Chuck positioned himself well to be on her team and was sitting right next to her.
While others look horrified seeing that they'll have to wear a bowling shirt. I mean, Pascal walks into this date, takes one look at their uniforms, and is like,
This is definitely not Gucci or Prada or, but it's okay. Blue looks good on me,
Blue? Blue, Pascal? That's obviously cerulean. But now we're seeing some of that classic Bachelor competitiveness, as the men are trying to make a splash with Joan by jockeying for time and one-upping each other on the score sheet. But yeah, for Chalk, it's mostly just jockeying for time, and Guy tries to tell Chalk to settle down while Chalk is like,
I'm not your buddy, guy! We're not your buddies, guy!
Jonathan then busts out the old Afro photos and the photos of his kids, cause now we're playing hard in the paint for those hometown spots. But as each and every guy pleads their case, it really just comes down to Joan and which guy she can see being a couple with.
I want to have my person. I want to go home with somebody. Like, all got to drink with my friends. They all go home to their husbands. I go home to empty house.
Certainly, she sees it with Chalk, and a lot of men here, but with Mark, it's always been a bit of a question mark up to this point. So as we move into a new day, Joan comes to pick him up for their one-on-one, and I love how Chalk is still encroaching on Joan even here. Also, pause, I'm sorry, guy? Hello? Put those guns away, good sir. Well, Joan then brings Mark out on a yacht to either see if there's a connection there or to whack him, and while Mark checks so many boxes, Joan is just unsure if there's actually a spark there. And I, for one, am not sure either.
Wow.
Well, Jesse Palmer and the Bachelor crew see their golden boy Mark flailing and go... So they send in some reinforcements to help Mark out in the form of a fun little scavenger hunt.
This is from Jesse.
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Joan and Mark. I wanted to give you an opportunity to deepen your connection and uncover more about each other.
And once the scavenger hunt starts, things begin to pick up between these two. Although, while Mark is a wonderfully sweet and soft man, I'm not sure his energy fits well with the Bachelor format, as he often doesn't like to take the lead.
Would you rather tell someone you love them first or have them tell you first?
For me, I think I would feel more comfortable being second.
I think I've never said it first.
And as these two talk more about their late spouses, Mark tells Joan about the hummingbird story. So he's exiting this date on cloud 9, leaving all these other guys to think that's it, Joan is going to be meeting Joey and Kelsey next week, no doubt about it. Well...
Mark, can I steal you for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll come down here.
Wow.
What happened?
I don't know. I think this is good, but I don't know why I think it's good.
So Joan sits down with Mark and says that while they had a great date, and how wonderful it's been to hear that being in this house has been a healing journey for him, how comforted she was hearing the hummingbird story because she sometimes feels crazy that she sees hawks and thinks it's a sign that John is there, but
I went home last night and I kept thinking, I just don't know, like, what is missing? Like, something doesn't feel right.
And Joan feels like maybe she came in a little too early on his healing journey. So she's pulled him aside because she doesn't want him to go through a whole rose ceremony.
I need somebody who is as far along in their journey as I am.
Okay, no shade, but hasn't this whole season been about Joan saying she's not sure if she's fully healed from her husband's passing? I think this really just comes down to a general there isn't a spark there, even if Mark is amazing on paper. So, Mark says goodbye.
I know that this journey is for you to find the one that's right for you. And I think you will.
Thank you. I hope so. I love you, Mark. I really do.
And there we have the thing they've teased in the previews, the I love you Mark that wasn't romantic, but just a goodbye to a good person. Mark then brings the news to the guys, and Pascal is destroyed. Apparently, these two were like BFFs, and honestly, the greatest love story this season is actually the love story between the guys.
Best of luck. I appreciate it.
Brother. We love you, man.
Yeah.
Love you.
I'm very sad. He was my best friend.
Okay, Pascal, he's still alive. I'm sure you'll see him again when they ask you to host a group date for him on his season of The Golden Bachelor. But alright, now we're on to the all-important rose ceremony before hometowns, where here, all 4 roses are up for grabs. First up is Pascal. Then next to get a hometown is, of course, Chalk. And when Guy gets the 3rd rose, the last spot comes down to either Jonathan, Jordan, or Keith.
Jordan.
So with that, our 4 hometown spots are filled up, and Keith and Jonathan are leaving. With Jonathan getting a special goodbye sit-down, and Keith, well, Keith is left to go...
You guys are getting paid?
So that's it for this recap of The Golden Bachelorette, Week 5. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel for more content. And until next time, Bachelor Fan Take out.
Absolutely not.
Oh, my freaking ear!
Oh, let's go, dear.
Well, I expect that type of language at
The Bachelor.
but not here.